Welcome back to She's Got Game. On this week's episode, I'm sitting down with England netball's rising star, Funmi Fadoju. We cover what it's like to be so successful in sport at such a young age, the challenges that netball faces, why some elite level sportswomen are still having to work second jobs, and how women are often perceived differently when playing sport in comparison to men. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Funmi Fadoju, welcome to She's Got Game.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and being on today. So, quick fire questions to start. Okay. What is your favourite netball position?
This is a little bit ironic, but it has to be goal attack.
Goal attack?
I know. They have so much fun on court. They get to be so creative and have so much flair. And I feel like putting up long bombs is good.
Yeah, it's love that. That was my position at school back in the day.
Same here.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Started off as a goal attack.
Did you? I want to talk more about this later. Okay. What do you think is the most difficult position?
Has to be goal defence. You know, we are the hard workers on court. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
Other positions need to listen to this. If you didn't play netball, which sport would you play?
It'd have to be athletics for me. I'd go into like 200 or 100 meters and like long jump.
Did you do much of that when you were younger?
I did. I feel like it was either athletics or netball for me. So yeah, pick netball. So grateful for that. But yeah, it would be athletics, my backup plan.
Which distances did you do when you did athletics?
So I did 100, 300. Is that in Olympics now? Yep.
Is it?
I don't know.
But we need to fact check.
Quick fact check. And I also did long distance. Yeah, this really just chucked me in anywhere.
Oh my God, so you could just do it all.
Yeah, and long jump. Loved it.
Yeah, see, I would have loved to be good at that. I think that is over in about 5 seconds.
It's so much fun. Just get over, done with, and you're done. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're so athletic as well. Love it. How would your teammates describe you in 3 words?
I'll say they would describe me as easygoing. I feel like I'm just easy to get along with. I hope so. I'd like to say spontaneous. I do like, or maybe adventurous or one of those. I feel like I always have like a last minute plan as what to do. You know, let's go painting, guys, or let's go to an escape room. And I guess the last word would be driven. I feel like I know what I want, and when I'm on court, I'm so focused.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about more of that later on. Who are your sporting icons?
I think for me, it would have to be Serena Williams. I grew up watching her. She's an amazing woman. Like, what her legacy that she made is just amazing, and it really just inspired me to be like, I want to be a female athlete as well. I want to be that cool when I grow up.
How old do you think you were when you first were aware of Serena Williams?
Oh, it'd have to be like, I'd say 10, maybe a bit earlier. My dad actually wanted me to be a tennis player, so he'd take me literally to the nearest park to play tennis like every single Saturday. Wasn't good though. So he realised that wasn't going to happen, but yeah, she was.
We made up with it.
Exactly.
Netball. Which would you say has been your favourite match to date?
For me, it'd be the first time I played Australia, which was in 2022. It was we had a free test series tour over there, and I feel like that's the first time I ever played against the top country in the world, and they were the best at netball. They were so just talented and good, and I realised that if I could play well against them, then I could pretty much play well against anyone.
Would you say that was one of the hardest matches that you've had to date?
One of them, yes. I feel like playing them like the year after at the World Cup probably was the hardest, but I feel like the first match I played against them was what really catapulted my career, and it was what really actually led me to like solidifying my spot in the team.
Do you have any pre-match rituals?
I like to, like, in the changing rooms, I do like to hide away for a few minutes. So everyone's just talking and you just see me sneak off to the changing room to, like, put my headphones on, listen to some music or some TikTok, something to just, like, really just calm down, I guess. I also, as soon as I get onto court, I pray with my teammates because we're all Christians. So we all come together and we just hope for no injuries and just pray for God to, like, play through us, if that makes sense. And then afterwards, I do 3 like hop jumps as high as I can just to remind myself of like my super strength.
Love it. With that, with you kind of taking yourself off and having a moment to yourself, have you always done this, or is this something that came later in your career?
I've always done it, maybe not consistently, but this year it's been like my main, like I just kept it, I do it every single week. My teammates make a joke out of it. They'd literally poke over, they'd peek over the changing room and be like, Funmi, you okay? And then I'm just like eating and watching like a TikTok, and it's just, yeah, I feel like for me, it's just, I need to get away from, the stress of going into a match. So it helps me to calm down and just helps me to focus as well.
I think that's so important, because a lot of the time in any situation we're in, the pressure can amount to be so all-consuming and overwhelming. And when you've got a situation like that almost every week, I can imagine those pre-match rituals become so important just to help you manage those nerves and that stress. Did you have any female role models growing up?
I guess maybe not growing up, maybe when I was in secondary school, it was Tina Asher Smith. I feel like that was when I was still doing athletics. I was like, you know what, she's amazing. But that's the only actually athlete I knew back then who did athletics. And I was just like, you know what, I want to be like her. She went to King's College and I went to Queen Mary. So I was like, oh, could be fate. Maybe I should go down that route. But yeah, she inspired me to just chase my dream.
And did you have any women around you that perhaps weren't in sport that you found were really inspiring and were kind of a voice for change?
For me, it'd actually have to be my teachers. I know that's like, I had my favorite ever PE teacher. She took so much time out of her life to help me, and she was my role model. She was so kind. Everyone loved her, and she'd just take extra time out of her life to basically support me. She got me my first pair of netball trainers, and she got me my first basketball trainers that I played for netball, and they were amazing.
Wow. What was childhood like for you growing up?
I was just I really did think I was an easygoing person. I was just fun, bubbly, energetic, but also somehow shy and reserved. I loved just going out, having fun. I did literally every single sport in school. I did badminton, rugby, I could literally go on. And so I was always busy. And obviously, I loved being with my friends. I loved going out to get food, go to the movies. You'd probably see me in the movies every week.
Really?
I don't know why. I went for a strange addiction and a Marvel face. So I was always, so yeah, I was always out. Yeah, I guess just really fun. Had a fun childhood.
What is your favourite movie, would you say?
Oh, from the Marvels series, How to Be Guardians of the Galaxy, it made me laugh the most. And so why it's not the most important, you'd say, it's the one that made me really happy. So, yeah.
And you say you were shy as a kid, and I always find this really interesting because a lot of incredible sportswomen do describe themselves as quite shy when they were younger. Do you feel like playing sport almost allowed you to come out of your shell and express yourself in a way that perhaps you only tended to do when people weren't looking otherwise?
Definitely. I feel like if it wasn't for sports, I probably would still be shy. Netball was a team sport, so I've had to communicate with my teammates. I've had to talk out, and I had a voice in my team, and I didn't have that anywhere else. And obviously everyone's so energetic and loud and passionate, and it just made me want to be like that as well. So I was able to come out of the shell that I put myself in growing up. When I was really young, I don't talk a lot, so I was very quiet, and my parents were like, is she okay? And then I realised I was just actually shy, so that's actually why I started going into sports, to kind of get out of myself and see what else I can do. And once I joined netball, I was the loudest kid on court.
Were you? So I loved it.
I was just so passionate. I forgot all about what people thought of me. I didn't really think about anything like that. I was in the moment, focused on the game, and I was able to, I don't know, shine through that.
Yeah, be yourself. It's amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
How did you first get into netball?
It was in primary school. I want to say year 3 or year 4. It was my PE teacher, so obviously my parents kept chucking me into every sport, and he recognised how athletic I was, and he was like, you know what? Try out netball. So he invited me the next day to watch the older girls play, and I just loved it. After that, I started to come in at lunchtimes to basically play the older netball team, and yes, from then on, I just kept going, and I invited my friends into it. And next thing you know, a few years later, we are the netball team for my school, Montego, and I just went on from there. He was then the first person to introduce me to my first netball club called New Campbell, and he then ended up coaching at that club.
Oh, I love it.
And he was so, he started off my career. So I feel like my PE teachers in my life have been so supportive, and are the reason why I actually made it to where I am today.
And you started off playing goal attack, right?
I did. I was a shooter.
When did you make the switch to goal defence?
It was actually when I joined my club. So they said, you know what, you're good at goal attack, but you're not great. And I think maybe they saw something in me that I didn't see back then. So they said, you know what, you can jump really high. How about we just try you as a defender? So next thing you know, I'm playing goal defence. And I was so upset. At the start, I was so upset. Obviously, I used to be a little princess on court just shooting and having fun. But now I'm a hard grinder defender. And the transition was a little bit rocky for me, but as soon as I stepped into court as a goal defence, I actually loved it. I was like, oh, this is actually a little bit of fun. Just jumping everyone's passes and getting these cool intercepts. I was like, yeah, this is for me.
This is where I belong.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a slightly different mindset between attackers and defenders on the court?
There is. I feel like defenders were known to be very like loud, vocal, energetic, very like, I don't know how to say it, like to really grind out on court. And while attackers are more creative. For me, I've always seen shooters as princesses.
I love this.
And not because I am a little bit jealous because I used to be one, but because actually I feel like they just go on court and I don't know, they always complain when defenders hit them and give them a little argy-bargy, but as a defender, I'm just like, that's what netball's about, so yeah.
That's the job. That's what we're here to do.
Job, yeah.
Did you find that sport was perceived as cool when you were at school, or was it not so much?
In my school, sport was very cool, actually. I feel like I went to schools that were quite sporty. So in Montego, we were the top for athletics, football, netball, everything. So that's probably why I went into it as well. And then I went to my secondary school, and my year was very sporty for some reason. We had some, like, if I look back at it now, we have a famous footballer, someone who, a girl who went to the Olympics just in my year, and then a netballer. I was like, yeah. We were very, like, in my year, it was very cool to be sporty. I feel like everyone wanted to go and be a part of a new team and just go out there and have fun. And we get called out of classes sometimes and we get to be like, yeah,
special treatment.
Guys. Yeah, special treatment, yeah.
Do you feel that playing sport from a young age really helped you? We all kind of have to go through this school system, don't we? And we have to work our way through to whatever level we want to. Did sport help you academically? Did you find that it improved your learning? Or do you feel like you were not distracted by it, but it almost, your attention was outside of the classroom?
For me, I think it helped. I feel like my teachers were very, they prioritized both my netball but my education. So they helped me fit in times to get in my homework or just catch up when I was away for netball matches. And so for me, I never really struggled with that. I guess it did help me with my education because I thought like, you know what, imagine being good at a sport and also being smart. Like that's a double win for me. And obviously, my parents, while my teachers were like, you know what, you're very talented, so you should focus on sport. My parents are also very educational based. They're like, you know what, I know you're talented, but you have to focus on education. You need something to rely on. And so that kind of helped me to balance both. And yeah, so they're quite equal.
Yeah, I think every single person I've spoken to has said that sport helped them with everything else they did. Yeah. And I think it's just so brilliant in that aspect of teaching you discipline as well. And discipline is required to revise, to get whatever grades you need to get. What is it about netball that you loved?
For me, it was just about being a part of a team. Like I said, I was quite shy before, so being able to be a part of a team, and these girls would then go on to become some of your closest friends. That was the best part for me. So just about going on court and just be able to show off some like passion and energy that I wouldn't have been able to do in my normal life. It's in a classroom, right? It's fine that you can't really show your inner self, but on court you can. And I feel like that's what really drew me to it.
When did you first realise that you wanted to pursue netball as a career, or did you first realise it was possible that you could do that?
For me, it was actually just realising that I was kind of going up the league slowly, like going up the ladder. My club first introduced me to county, so I tried for that. The first year as a goal attacker, didn't make it in. The next year, that's when I transitioned into a goal defender, and then I got in. So from there, I went on to regional the next year, and then from regional, I went to London Pulse, the Young Netball Performance League, and I didn't know that I was doing it as a professional job. For me, it was just for fun. I was like, oh, I'm getting better, but I didn't really see myself playing for England ever. That's until they told me one day that, oh, we want you to try you out for England. And I was like, oh, there's an England squad?
Yeah. I didn't even know.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
And so for me, I just really enjoyed it. So I was just happy to just keep climbing. I wasn't really doing it to aim for England, but I guess when you're playing a sport you love, then that would naturally end up there.
When you didn't make it as goal attack, how old were you at the time?
Oh, I actually don't know. Maybe 13, 14, like that's really rough age. I can't really remember.
But it's at an age where we don't quite have all the tools in our toolbox yet to handle what feels like rejection at the time. How did you feel in that moment?
Truthfully, I was devastated. I feel like obviously I've had so much success as a young child in my netball clubs. I was like, this is it. This is the moment. Me and my friend went along as well. She made it to the next part of the trials, but I didn't even make it through to there. So I was a little bit upset. Mum came and hugged me right afterwards. She's like, it's okay. We'll go again next year. It's not the end of the world. And I remember thinking, my school at assembly, they all congratulated me for being accepted into the trials. So like, best wish for me, good luck for her trials. And I remember going through being like, oh no, I didn't make it. Now I have to go back to school and tell everyone that I didn't make it through. And I just didn't want to go into school the next day. I was like, I'm too embarrassed. But I don't know, I guess my PE teacher, I did call her afterwards. I was like, I didn't make it through, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. You're still an amazing player. You just have to keep practicing, I guess. And so I went back to my netball coach from my club. And then she also told me, you know what, we'll just work on this, this and this. And later on, she decided to change, to move me from a goal attack to a goal defence. And
I mean, you made such an incredible mindset shift at such a young age. The people around you sound like they were amazing supporters going, don't worry, we can go again next year. You don't need to be sorry. It's not the end of the world. We'll just see what we need to work on. Do you feel like those people were really integral in forming the mindset that you have now today?
Definitely. I feel like they were what actually helped me to keep moving on, to not focus so much on what I've lost, but what I can gain. And they just shifted my mindset from being like, oh, I'm a loser, to being, oh no, I failed, but I'm still here, I'm still okay, and I can just keep trying again. And they reminded me that I'm still talented. It doesn't change or define who I am for not getting through the first year. And after I was able to get through that little barrier, I kept pushing on from there on.
I mean, to learn those lessons at that age is just incredible. Do you feel like that's helped carry you through your career to where you are today?
I feel like after that, I realised that, one, I don't want to be in that situation again, so I'm going to make sure I work hard. I remember going to training the next day, just literally giving it my all, 100%. I was like, wow, Funmi, what did you eat today? And I just remember being like, you know what, if I'm given an opportunity again, I'm going to make sure that I'm ready for it, and I'm going to take it with both hands. So I feel like that little, let's say, little barrier in my life actually is what helped me to push on for the rest of the years coming forward.
Do you feel like now a loss or a win fuels you more for the next match?
Oh, I want to say a loss would make me hungry for more. I'd be like, I'm going to share everyone exactly what I can do in the next match. But a win also, even if we do win, I'd be the same. I feel like it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I know that the next match I want to do better. There's always something to improve on. And I remember, like, right now I'm in a season where we've won most of our matches, but I still know that we could do better. I still know that I have so much more to show, and that my last match wasn't my best. So there's still more to improve on.
And how do your coaches cultivate the environment amongst the entire team to have the same mindset of you as the last match? Doesn't matter whether we won or lost or drew. This is a new match. We're resetting. We want it as badly, if not more, than we did every other match we played to this point.
I feel like it's about setting like very strict goals. Like, we know what we're aiming for, and if we're not doing that 100%, then we're not there yet. So even if we did win, if we're not winning, if they're able to score a goal, then there's still something to work on. If we didn't score a goal, then again, there's still something to improve on. So it's about, I guess my coaches would say, it's just about being resilient, just focusing on what it is that we want to aim for, which is obviously winning the league. And I guess that's what fuels us. She also does in training, we're a very competitive team, so obviously we all push each other to perform at the best that we can. We're hard against each other. Like, there sadly are injuries sometimes, God forbid that anymore. But like, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that if I perform my best against my teammate, then it means that they have to step up as well. And that's what actually helps us to keep improving.
I love that. It's almost like not playing above, but like you're going, right, I'm here now, so you're coming with me, rather than, right, I'm leaving you behind. It's like, no, one of us elevating means everybody else is going to elevate too, because we're constantly striving for better. You're still 22, right?
Yes.
So you've won the Netball Super League Young Player of the Year twice, helped take London Pulse to their first grand final, topped the standings for intercepts by 20 more than the next player last season. I could go on and on and on, and help the Vitality Roses achieve their silver medal at the Netball World Cup in 2023. How does it feel when I read all of this back to you?
Feels kind of surreal. I feel like, wow, that actually all happened. Thinking back to it, it's kind of a blur. I feel like it's been a long journey. And I'm just so proud for how far I've come. But at the same time, it's a little bit of relief
Yeah.
Like there's so many people who gave up so much of their time and effort in order to help me succeed. And I feel like, you know what, for me to be able to achieve so much, it's a testament of that. And it's like, thank you. It's like you didn't waste your time, and I'm able to finally give back to them for all they've done for me.
That's so interesting. I don't think I've ever had anyone sit here and use the word relief before, but it makes so much sense if you feel like a lot of people have put into you.
Like a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. And you've shown what you're capable of doing that they all saw in you probably before you saw it in yourself.
Definitely.
Which of those achievements do you feel like you're most proud of?
I think it would have to be the World Cup. I feel like going out there and doing something that England team has never done before, that is a huge achievement that's going to follow me for the rest of my life. I remember being like, this is my time, this is my moment. And while we didn't get the win, I know exactly what I have to do in order to improve. And I feel like, you know what? For my first time, that isn't so bad, is it? We got silver medal and we were able to get second place. And I'm just proud of just how far we've come. I remember everyone like messaging me the next day being like, you guys were amazing, it was so good. I'm like, thank you. Like, it's actually because of you guys as well. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. And yeah, we keep pushing from here.
How did it feel when you got the call up to be part of the England squad?
Yeah, I was happy. I was very excited. I was like, yes, finally. Now it's my time to actually share everyone what I can do, because I knew that I had the ability to be in that team. I just had to share everyone, and I just wanted to take this opportunity with both hands. Obviously, they gave me an expression of interest form, and so when I signed it and they told me that I was made it into the seniors team, I was like, oh, thank the Lord. Thank you, God. Seriously, like this is this is something new. So it's something I've never done before, and this is a moment for me to keep pushing on and seeing how far I can make it.
And when you were on the court for the first time, how did you handle that high pressure situation?
So luckily for me, my first ever England match was I went on with my best friend.
Oh.
So it was Liv Cheen, and she was just like, and a few of my other teammates. So we all came on at the same time at halftime, and we're just like, we looked at each other and we're like, okay, this is kind of scary. Maybe all of us on the court at the same time is a little bit weird. We never expected that, but as soon as we were able to get a few balls in, like a few ball touches, we were fine. We're like, you know what, this is netball. We're used to it, and this is what we've practiced our whole lives for. So let's just go out there and have fun and show everyone what we can do.
Do you ever get nervous before matches nowadays?
Yeah, definitely. I like to think I'm calm-headed and I'm very cool, but no, I do get stressed out a few times. That's why I have to go away and find my own space in order to just kind of focus and calm down. I guess it's more about going out. What I'm scared about is going out there and not performing at the standard that I know I can. Obviously, I'm trying to, but that's what I'm scared of, and that's what makes me nervous. Like, everyone has these expectations of us, and if we don't meet them, then we will feel disappointed, they'll feel disappointed, and I don't want anyone else to be like ashamed of me in that way. So that's what makes me nervous. Yeah.
Do you feel like when you're out there competing that you are performing for others, for yourself, for one more so than the other? I'm sure it's both.
Yeah.
But do you feel like it's more for yourself or more for other people?
I guess I'd say it's more for others sometimes, which is weird. And I normally would say myself, but it is more for others. I'm always thinking about, like, I can't mess up. I have to be, I won't say perfect, but I have to be good. And anything else that's not something I want to accept.
Yeah. I feel like some people would potentially view that as a negative, like you'd want it for yourself. But actually, when you hear you talking about it, is you're using that as fuel for your fire. You're not out there because you don't want to be out there. You want to be out there, and the fact that people have supported you so much fuels you to perform to the best of your ability. When you're nervous on the court or you feel like a match isn't going the way you wanted it to, how do you recompose in that moment?
I just tell myself, you know what, maybe the first 5 minutes wasn't good, but there's another 10 minutes. It's time to focus now. So I literally can't. I just take a second on court. You might see me pause sometimes to just breathe, and then I just go back out there knowing exactly what I have to do. I focus on my basics. So I go back, I get rid of not all the game plans, but I go back to what I know I can do. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to track my opponent. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to dictate her to one side. And then after that, I'm going to start looking at like what other balls I can win.
I mean, that to me is just such a skill that I think even the highest level athletes, there's such a small percentage of them that can do that mid-match, game, whatever sport they're playing, to be able to just go back to the fundamentals and go, this is what I'm good at, rather than trying to fight for, you know, getting the most amazing intercept or amazing goal every single time they touch the ball, just coming back to the basics. And the fact that you do that, it's clearly working.
I actually learned that from the World Cup. I feel like it was that final match where, because it's my first time there, I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to disappoint my team. Like, this is our only chance basically to get a gold medal in that. Obviously that year we're gonna get it again, hopefully. But I remember saying, you know what, I panicked, and I won't lie, and I started going for everything, and I got nothing. And I realized from then on, I'm never gonna do that again. After the match, I was like, you know what, I know what I did, and I basically got really nervous and distracted, but never again. And I'm gonna next time just settle and go back to the basics.
Yeah, I love that. And do you feel like these are some lessons that you've taken into your everyday life outside of netball too?
Yeah, so whenever I feel myself in a panic situation or where I feel a little bit nervous, I just take a breath, and I'm just like, okay, why am I here? What am I doing? And I try to break it down like that.
What challenges have you come up against as a woman in sport?
There's been many, I think. I feel like, obviously, we're not seen as professionals sometimes. We're playing at the top level, and yet we're still seen as just little girls wanting to go on court sometimes. And that's quite hard. People don't take my sport seriously sometimes. I feel like it's like the B-Tech basketball, and they ask us, why don't you just play that instead? And I was like, well, I love netball. Netball's a different sport. So obviously, I could play both, but I chose netball, and that's what I'm going to stick with. And it's about just trying to ignore the outside voices and just focus on what I want in life, which is obviously to play at the top level. I guess another thing would be, some people tell us that we can't be too emotional on court.
Okay.
You'd see some tweets or some comments about, oh, she's always frowning, she has attitude, she's rude. I'm just like, no, she's just focused. It's her game face, and people don't get that. If we're not smiling 100%, then we're going to get a rude comment about being, I don't know, about having this attitude. And I'm just like, that's not what it is. I don't think you'd ever tell a man or a footballer, why aren't you smiling as you're kicking the goal in? Or like,
it's insane.
Exactly. I'm like, if you wouldn't say it to them, then don't say it to us as well.
Exactly. That whole thing of, you know, I've spoken about this a lot, where if a guy is frowning, he's focused.
Exactly.
He's in the zone.
Yeah.
Woman does it, you get backlash.
Exactly.
If a guy is shouting for the ball and being passionate on a pitch, oh my God, look how passionate he is about the game. If a woman does it,
she used to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, why is she shouting? Who's she shouting at? Like,
it is insane. But how do you, when you see tweets like this, how do you block them out and focus on your game and just shut those noises out?
well, the easy solution is to delete Twitter,
Yeah.
which we have done many times before. Tend to get it back because there's a lot of funny content on there. But I think for me, it's just about knowing that what they say doesn't define me, doesn't matter to me. I know what I'm doing on court. I'm just going to focus on my performance and my teammates and keep myself in a bubble and not focus about all this outside noise, because it can't influence me.
How have you formed a good support system and bubble around you? Do you feel like it's taken a little bit of time to create that bubble, and there may be some people that were in, but maybe they weren't the right choice and that was a lesson learned? Or have you had a pretty good bubble around you from early on in your career?
I think I'm quite lucky. I've had a very good bubble around me of people who just were there to support me in any shape or form. I feel like whether it's my PE teachers or my netball coaches or even my normal teachers and my parents, they've always been there. My mom and dad obviously were working when I was younger, so my sister would take me to netball matches sometimes, and she'd help me for my travel, or my PE teachers will find a way, even so it wasn't their job, they didn't have to help me, but they chose to, and that's something that I just want to repay them for. Yes, I've always had people around me who really wanted me to succeed, and I'm so grateful that I can say that I have now.
Yeah. Did you ever have any situations where when you were rising to the top, that were difficult or felt like some people didn't want to see you succeed?
I feel like my journey was quite fast paced. I felt like one day I was just playing netball, the next thing you know I'm in the England squad, and people kept saying, how did that happen? Where did you come from? And I was like, I don't know myself. I've always been here. But I wouldn't say it was difficult. I say I wasn't used to all the attention I was getting. Some people kept saying that, wow, she's talented, she has no structure, she doesn't have the game smarts yet. And I'm just like, well, I'm talented because I have that as well. It's a circle. It's not just pure like athletic talent. It's also my ability to read the game, and it took some time for them to notice that. But you know what? Again, just try not to focus on that. I just focus on my performance and focus on what I need to improve on next.
Yeah. As someone who's naturally shy growing up, how does it feel when people are saying she's got attitude?
I take that as a compliment. I'm like, thank you. I do have attitude sometimes. Even in my head, I still think I'm quite shy. And I'm like, when they say that, I'm just like, oh, lovely, thank you. It means that I'm obviously overthinking it, and I'm actually still passionate. And yeah, I don't take it as a negative thing. I feel like, yes, you know, I do have attitude. I'm very passionate about the sport I love. And I'm happy that I can show that.
With Sha'Carri Richardson, there was this piece in the Olympics where they were doing the relay, and she just had this look. They were finishing the relay and she overtook the woman next to her, and she just looked and had this face, and then went back to running, and I thought it was so powerful. And someone interviewed her afterwards and asked her about this, and she said, I have a personality when I'm on the track, and I have a personality off the track. Essentially, when I'm on the track, I'm a killer and I want to win. But that's not what I'm like all the time. Do you feel like you have an on and off court persona that you tap into?
It is on the court. Again, I'm focused, I'm driven. I know exactly what I want. I'm not going to be laughing here and there. I'm probably going to have a very calm, cool face. When I'm happy, I will obviously shout and scream for my teammates. I'll cheer them on, but most of the time I am focused and serious, and just because I know what I want to do on court. I don't want to be seen as someone who's just there to fool around. I want to be seen as someone who's very serious about the sport that she's playing, and who's very, just focused.
What are some of the best things you feel that netball has brought into your life?
Lifelong friends. That was the best thing for me. Friends who have the same schedules as me, so we're always we can always meet up. We get to travel together, and it all balances out. It also given me just confidence to do things that I never thought I'd ever do, like be here for example. I again was quite a reserved child, so for me to be on a podcast or to be seen doing public speaking, I'm just like, I never thought I'd be there. It's amazing. It's a new feeling, and I'm able to experience so many different things now. And traveling. I feel like netball has allowed me to travel the world. I've been to Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Jamaica. I've just been able to go to places that I probably wouldn't have gone to if it wasn't for netball. And I've been able to experience different cultures, and that's been amazing.
How do you feel, or what are the changes you feel we need to make to put netball on an even bigger platform, not just in the UK, but globally, so that young girls who are at school and perhaps don't want to do PE because they're a bit self-conscious about how they look or they feel uncomfortable, how do we put netball on a bigger platform so that they are aware of these role models and the possibilities of where netball can take them, like it has done for you?
I think, number one, we need more media coverage. I feel like for them to be able to see us as role models and to be able to look up to us, they need to be able to see us in the first place. And the first thing for that is to have more media coverage for them to be more visible, I guess, in a way, to increase the awareness of netball as a whole, or just women's sport in general. We need more sponsorships, need people to take an interest in us. And so once they do that, then it will bring in different audiences and different age categories and groups. And I feel like that's the first step in order to grow netball as a sport in this country and hopefully all over the world. I think we also need to focus on the young grassroots programs. If we can start from a young age and get them into it and get them enjoying netball, then obviously they grow up and they can start playing it as an adult. It helps with fitness. They can grow their own community, and who knows, they might even go down the elite pathway. So it's really important to start when they're still young.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's amazing that you did start so young, and it's clearly just done wonders for you, not only whilst playing, but you're so mature. Sat here talking to you, your mindset is just on another level. It's amazing how you stay so calm and you just reset, and that is just, you're like, well, of course I'd reset. Why would I do anything else? It's to get there for a lot of people takes a hell of a long time, but you arrived there so early. So I really hope a lot of people listening to this find this so inspirational and encourage their kids or themselves to get into sport. What do you feel are some of the challenges that netball as a sport faces?
I think it's just about, we don't have enough resources right now, we don't have enough funding, and I feel like if we're able to show young girls that you can play netball as a professional sport and you can do it as a full-time sport as well without having to balance it with other things, that they'd obviously want to do it. If they knew they could have a career out of it, then they'd to definitely take part. And I feel like first thing to do that, we need more funding. We need more resources in terms of like health wise as well, because we are women. We have our system are very different to men. We have to focus on our periods. We have to focus on our health, and we need to have that kind of resources in order to help us do that and focus as well on our performances. It's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also streaming, again, like obviously more media coverage is good, but if the media coverage isn't quality, then what's the point? We've had a few problems this year with streaming, as in it's not up to standards. Some of the matches are cutting off halfway. People are saying, what's the point of us paying for this? And it's awful, because obviously as a player, I want them to be able to see us. I want them to be able to enjoy the matches as much as we are. I want to be able to connect with my fans, and they can't because they're not able to see us on YouTube or Sky Sports or wherever it is that they're watching. So it's quite hard. So I feel like if we can improve just those few things, then we definitely take the next level up.
Do many of your teammates have to have a job that pays them a salary or an additional salary alongside playing netball professionally?
Definitely. I feel like this is actually our first year of professionalism where they're trying to help athletes be able to focus more on their sport instead of having to focus on like their jobs as well. And so we're not there yet. It is the first year. Like the money we're getting is definitely a lot more than what we used to get, but it's still not up to a standard where we can just live off it. So yeah, a lot of the girls do balances their jobs and their education, and it's hard because now we have to plan our schedule around that. And obviously, because in our first year of professionalism, we train a lot more, which makes it a lot harder for people who have full-time jobs. So like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to balance them both? Some people had to get rid of their jobs and go back to part-time, and it's hard because we're not getting paid enough to do that. We need to survive. London is a very expensive place. So as a London team, we do have our struggles, but hopefully next few years things change.
I mean, that is just insane to me that when you look at the NBA, it's a different sport. I get it. Football, all of these other sports where you look at what these men are getting paid. It is beyond wild.
It is.
And I get that a lot of the money comes from people watching it. But how are people supposed to watch it if they don't have access to it? If they're having to pay to even watch you and then it cuts out halfway through, that is insane.
I know, it's just detrimental to our sport. Like, no offense, I probably wouldn't watch us if the streaming's cutting out halfway. So why do I expect them? Like, why do they expect them to do that as well? So if we can sort that out now, I feel like it'd be just such an important step to just, I don't know, increasing our viewership, increasing the awareness of netball, and getting in more fans.
And that's it. You have more fans in, the demand is higher, then there's suddenly more money in the sport. But it's like, it's chicken and egg, but actually it's not chicken and egg. It's not, we need more fans to be able to stream this. It's stream it so people are more aware of what's going on. Do it that way round. It's like trust in the sport. Women in sport has been around for a long time. Let's just give it more of a voice that it needs so that professional athletes aren't having to work a full-time job alongside it. How do your teammates balance that?
I feel like, so we obviously are very understanding as well, because we all know that we all have our individual struggles. So our coach is a very loving person. She's like, you know what, I get both sides. So she tries to help us to basically get training sessions on days where everyone's free. We've moved sessions so many times. Like I actually had a session, we're supposed to have a session today, but it actually make it easier for a lot of my teammates to have it on a Friday. So we're able to adapt to that quite easily. I'm not sure other teams can say the same. My teammates just have a lot of comms. Like we're very open. We know, like we understand. We're a very understanding team. So as long as you have open comms and you can get everyone on the same page, it's okay. It's not too bad. As well as we also recognise we need time to rest. Sometimes I'm not going to send my teammate who just finished work a big message or anything like that. I'm going to give her some time to relax after that, and I'll talk to her at training instead. So we just need to be more aware of each other and our situations, and yeah, we can balance it.
That's something that's really interesting actually with team sport versus individual sport, is that in an individual sport, you know when you need to rest. But in a team sport, it's not just when you need to rest, it's acknowledging when your teammates need to rest too. It sounds like you have a really good communication system and a way of reading each other.
Yeah.
Did you learn that early on, or were there situations that happened that caused you to learn that?
I feel like when I first stepped into England, that's probably when I learned it the most. I realised we were travelling a lot, going into camps, and we were surrounded by the same girls for very long periods of time. And sometimes we all love each other, but we do need our individual space, and it's about being very open about that. So not just holding a grudge inside, actually just telling them, you know what, I love you, but I actually need to be alone for probably an hour. Is that okay? And people are very understanding, so there's no problems there.
It sounds like your team is just really healthy and there's like zero toxicity there whatsoever. It's amazing.
This is like the best year ever. I feel like everyone's just so open, everyone's on the same page. We know nothing's too serious. We don't take it too personally as well, because we're all just here to play better. We just want to play on court and make sure we put out our best performance, and we all know that we have to help each other in order to do that.
Yeah. And with this being the first year of kind of an attempt to fund you enough that you don't have to work outside of, are you seeing progress at the moment? Does it feel beneficial? Is it positive?
I've seen progress. I feel like in terms of our facilities, we have obviously more funding, not as much as we'd want, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? We're able to train a bit more. We're able to get in more S&C coaches to come in and look at to watch us gym, to make sure we have the right techniques and the right movements. We're able to basically, I guess, take it the next step in our careers forward. Like now we know that we have to be fitter in order to make it to like the level that is in Australia. They have the best netball league in the world. In order to get to that stage, we know that we have to train more, and we know that we need to also focus on rest and recovery, and we have systems in place in order to help us with that. We have something called catapults, which actually gives us data about how hard we're working, how many times we're jumping, and like it's basically to watch out for injuries. So now they're taking that into account as well. So now we know that we've overworked in the last couple of days. Now it's time to rest. So we might have a reduced training session where instead of doing 2 hours, you do an hour and a half. Or if the intensity was supposed to be high, it's now medium, because we're taking into account what's going on in our bodies as well, and that's so important. So there's definitely been a major step forward there. There's been less injuries in my team, at least.
Incredible.
We've had no injuries, like nothing seriously.
Touch all the wood.
Yeah, so
there's a tree there.
Literally, we've been really good, and I feel like that's because of the systems being put into netball right now, like having to wear catapults and like actually take into account like how hard we are working, or if we're underachieving, what we can do to push that up a little bit.
Going right back to when we mentioned periods and menstrual cycle, is this something that gets brought in with your training? Is this acknowledged?
It is. I feel like for a period of time, I didn't have any periods. I was actually overworking, and at first, before this year, it was just something that happened. You know, a lot of us we had very irregular menstrual cycles, and it was quite hard, because that actually will affect you when you're older. But this year, if they do keep in touch of that, so they make sure they track it as well as we do. If we're overworking it, which is going to affect our menstrual cycles, they actually give us time to go and have a rest periods. So before, I actually had a stress injury on my fibular bone because I was overworking, so and I had no periods, which means that my body was expending too much energy, and I had to take it from my periods in order to give it to my body, which ended up leading me to a fracture, and that was quite hard for me. And now they're giving us the necessary rest and recovery that we need in order to recover from that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I feel like that is such an important step for women in sport. Is we do have a menstrual cycle for most people every single month that needs to be brought into consideration, and it's amazing that your coaches are doing that.
There's a lot more research as well now, so that's really important.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant that that's something that they're prioritising, which of course led to your fracture when you did lose your cycle. How did you feel coming back from injury? Did that feel like quite a big setback at the time? And how did you manage that?
It did feel like a setback. I thought it was one of my best seasons. So I was like, I'm doing so good. And then for this to happen, I was obviously disappointed. But at the same time, I had people around me who were supportive. They were like, you know what? Let's just go back to the drawing board. I had a couple of weeks off. I think a very long time actually off. I can't remember how long it was, but I had a long period off where I was just able to recover, focus on other stuff in my life, I guess, which was actually, I didn't know that I needed back then, but I did. And then once I was coming back in, they were able to slowly build me up back into training ready, I guess you can say. It was hard, but again, I'm a netballer. I love being on court. The time I was off, while it was okay, it was fun. I was just dying to be back on court. I wanted to run, I wanted to jog, I wanted to jump again, and they were able to slowly get me back on. And yeah, so everything. And since then, I've been perfectly fine.
Touch the wood again.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot.
We're touching all the wood today. Do you feel like having that injury caused you to kind of readjust your mentality towards the game? Did it give you a new love for the game? Doesn't sound like you ever lost it, but what benefits came from having that injury mentally?
So mentally, I was able to take a step back. I guess, we obviously, netball is quite throughout the year. I play throughout the year, so it's not really a lot of time to just kind of focus on what it is that I'm doing or what it is that I want. So with that injury, I was able to take a step back and be like, you know what? I've made it this far. That's really good. So what else can I do to improve when I do get back on court? And I was able to really work on my weaknesses. So I was able to go back to the gym, build my strength up, build my endurance. And that actually benefited me in the long run because I probably needed that. I was able to focus on my rehab as well. So to make sure that I don't get any more injuries coming up in the future. So thank God for that. For me, I was able to actually focus on watching more netball. Sometimes playing matches every single week, you don't have time to watch other people play. So for me, I was able to watch the Australian League, the New Zealand League, and then also watch our league. I had so much time on my hand. I was like, okay. And I started learning new skills that I was able to bring back when I got back on court, which is really important.
And also it's homework, isn't it? You're kind of sussing out the competition a little bit.
Exactly.
Seeing who does what and how your direct opponent is going to move and things to look out for, which, as an athlete, people don't realize that this is a huge part of the job. It's not just how you're playing, it's understanding how your opponent's going to play too. So it's amazing that you took all these positives from that situation, which is incredible.
I actually turned into something called a huddle freak, where it's just like on huddle, we were able to watch a lot of matches there.
Okay.
And so I was literally always on huddle. Everyone was like, Funmi, can you put the iPad down? It's okay. I was like, no guys, there's more matches to watch, just much more to learn. And yeah, I was excited. And now I was able to bring that into my team, so now we're all huddle freaks, so it's all good.
I love that. That should be the name of your team. We should change it to that.
Might actually. Give me an idea.
And you in the league, the huddle freaks. How do you see the future of netball evolving?
I'd say, one, we will be able to play as a full-time sport. I'm hoping in the next 10 to 20 years, maybe a bit longer, we're able to play netball as a full-time sport. Everyone's getting paid the amount they deserve. We'll be in the Olympics. That's a big aim for us, and I think it is happening, but in like 2030 something maybe. So that would be amazing. Hopefully I'm still playing by then. Not only in the Olympics, playing at the top level, we would also be able to get more media coverage. I feel like right now it's not a lot of people who know about netball. They know that there's an elite team, but they don't really know much about it. So if we're able to keep improving over the next couple of years, we'll be able to be on every channel, like every sports channel, and people can actually just turn on the TV and watch us.
Yeah.
If our financial situation is done and our media coverage is done, then we can reinvest it back into the grassroots programs that I talked about before. You'd be able to literally search on your phone the nearest club to you, and it'll be like 10 minutes away. So we'll definitely have more clubs all over the country and hopefully all over the world if we get into the Olympics soon.
I feel like from an outsider looking in, netball has definitely been growing and there is more awareness around it, but maybe that's because I'm in the sporting world, whereas it'd be amazing to see it evolve to the point where people who aren't in the same industry are aware of it, because it's one of the most common sports that girls play at school. So it is interesting that it kind of isn't highlighted in the way that it should be when it's so popular.
I know.
At a young age.
But I actually found out, I think after the World Cup where we came second, and actually the Commonwealth Games where we won back in 2018, netball, the awareness of netball grew so much. But there's still so much more we can do, as in people who didn't know much about netball started to know about it. They're like, oh, netball, we have a netball team in England that actually won the Commonwealth Games. How amazing is that? And it got a lot more girls into it. So I just know that if we keep performing at that level and winning these huge tournaments, then we can keep improving the sport as a whole.
I love it. It's almost like it shouldn't be on you and your teammates to improve the awareness of the sport, but actually at the moment it is, and you're doing an incredible job, and it will just continue to go that way. One word to describe how you want 2025 to look for you.
Oh, one word.
You can have a few.
Okay, I'll go with you. The first word that comes to mind is bold. I want this year to be about bold moves. I want to do things I probably haven't done before. I'm still young. I still have time to learn. So I might as well take this year by the throat and just go ham on it. I guess, I think for me it's just bold. I want to do things I never did before. I want to stand out. I want to be different. And what do I have to lose, right? But I want it to also be fun. I want to have fun this year. I think 2025 is the year for me to try new things out, to really take that next step forward in my career. And for me, that's actually just showing people that I can do this, but you know what, I can also do this as well. So I can do different things. I can offer different abilities, like different skills. And I want people to be able to see that. So for me, yeah, just having fun and just being bold.
So important, that fun piece, just to keep the love for the sport
Exactly.
or whatever anyone's doing. It's so important.
Because we need to enjoy in order to play it, right?
Exactly. And to keep that passion and that fire alive, if you don't enjoy it, it will dwindle. If you had one piece of advice for your younger self, what would it be?
I think personally, just for me, it'd be like, you have a voice and that people do want to hear you. They want to hear what you have to say. So don't just be so shy all the time. Don't be so reserved. Come out of that little box you keep yourself in and just have fun. Like, I feel like netball did help me to do that. But if I could tell myself really early that, you know what, stop being so shy, go out there and just live your life. Don't care about what other people think about you. Then that's when you're gonna be the most happy. And I guess just for all girls out there, it's just, again, to have fun, to join us, just try out as many sports as they can, to get fit, to just try new things out, gain new experiences. And yeah, I think having fun is the best thing.
You have been incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you
That
for
was
having me.
brilliant. You're welcome. Thank you.